because our men, we said it in the last episode, were stripped of so much social respect. So they came home and abused us, and then abused and or left us. And then black women, for whatever struggles we may have with attitude and all the things that they say, came because literally a whole part of our family was stripped away from us.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't feel like
Good.
telling that
That's good.
story is in church is safe. Especially because the end result is that you're still with them.
So in order to hear about
Right.
marriage in the black community, you got to hear this part. As much as that's ugly to say, we don't get the chance to. I think all races, to be fair, experience partner toxicity because, again, I'm a post-Edenist. Everything is toxic here. I hope we don't sound like negative some days, but because the Lord is our hope and our salvation, right? He's the cornerstone of all joy and peace. But human experience, as beautiful as it is also deeply tragic. So anyway, but let's talk about black people. I think we don't get the luxury of having it's not great,
Right.
but the last two that I saw were, or, I'm sure there are healthy black marriages. Let me give the caveat. Of course, there are healthy black marriages. Of course, there are black people who didn't necessarily have the story of, we started off in terror and then 20 years later, he fixed it. Everybody don't have that story, but I will say the reason why, like, the exceptions don't disprove the rule, I guess, or should I say that the exceptions prove the rule. So often the black story, the black family narrative, because of all the history that we've gone through, is steeped in so much pain. And it makes me sad that we don't get the chance to think about marriage, talk about marriage without all of the fake, overly socially contrived social gender wars, and just the toxicity between men and women, because our men, we said it in the last episode, were stripped of so much social respect. So they came home and abused us, and then abused and or left us. And then black women, for whatever struggles we may have with attitude and all the things that they say, came because literally a whole part of our family was stripped away from us, and we had to navigate a world beyond that.
Right.
We had to say, shoot, but the kids still got to eat. Shoot, but the lights still got to stay on. Okay, let me pivot, let me adjust. And so I said all the time in sessions, black people just literally perpetually live in the adjustment. So to your thought, we can't dismiss their stories, but I'm sitting with you in the fact that it is so painful, because it's like, dang, so what do we do? Because we don't want to perpetuate this, but we don't want to dismiss black stories, because this is still a black woman who I love, and that's a TT. That's silly as they sounded. Love TT. That's her. She was
Right.
navigating the world as the crooked room that black girls get to grow up in, and it just
Right.
sounds silly because we got language for it now.